Okay, welcome to Tea in Transit. It's Monday, January 1st, 2024, 10:46 a.m. on Maui, Hawaii. And the sun is in gate 38.2, which is politeness. It's the opposition that does not transgress normal codes of behavior. The value of discretion, the energy for intuitive awareness for discretion. Detriment is an over-politeness that is both servile and obviously superficial and defeats its very purpose. The energy for over-politeness in times of struggle. Interesting. Politeness. This one's it's a digest. This is definitely one that's not like digested completely. Is the volume still low? Yeah, I can actually turn it up a little bit. How's that? That definitely should be better. Cool. Yeah, it's the I sometimes turn my Bluetooth mic down because sometimes when I'm making videos, I like to yell. Anyway, politeness, line 2, politeness. Let's see what Neutrino Design has to say about it. The consideration to keep one's intentions private in order to protect himself from potential harm, such as a job candidate not revealing their salary expectations to avoid being taken advantage of, or being overly polite to the point of being insecure or insincere, like a customer service representative who says they're sorry but doesn't actually do anything to help. Manners and politeness. Interesting. So, again, transit opportunity. Are you embracing your politeness, or is your politeness causing a sort of disadvantage for you? Weaponized man, yeah. Are your manners and your politeness being weaponized against you, or are you using them appropriately in your own life to have discernment and to temper your discretion? Which, I would imagine a lot of people, myself included, I'm very much so desiring to not make waves. I'm very much so desiring to be a peacekeeper in the world. And I'm having to unlearn that so that the people that actually need me can have me, because otherwise I'll just be off helping everybody and not really helping the people that need me. So anyway, that's gate 38. Gate 39.2 is confrontation. So the instinctual and direct assault of obstacles. The energy to provoke through direct assault. Detriment is the principle of preservation that tempts one to go around an obstacle that should be tackled head on. An emotional discomfort when direct assault is essential. So naturally, these two are linked in a sense, and we're looking at confrontation and politeness. And so with the confrontation and politeness, there's something around here in terms of, again, the transit being the thing that is provoking, or if it's something that you actually need to provoke. Because, again, it's like with the transit, it's like a lot of people are going to, fight things and reanalyze and reassess and reevaluate things according to the transits, but not actually harmonizing that with their own strategy and authority. And the design here is to take it as an opportunity to be aware of the transit, and specifically its transit pressure, because both these gates are in the root. It's an opportunity to take that transit pressure and see how it affects your strategy and authority. See what your relationship is like with confrontation and politeness. Like, can you be confronting and polite at the same time? Is that something that you practice often? One thing I said on a podcast was like, or a session, I forget which one it was, but it was around like, when you get these hookups from other people, or you get these hookups from the transits, and you are, you don't necessarily have a great relationship with like your emotions or your ego, and it's challenging for you, one of the things that you got to consider is like, if you have an undefined center or that gate is undefined, that's not something that you pick up regularly. That's not something that you work with regularly. And so it would make sense that your skill with it is not necessarily developed, because that's not something that you consistently develop, right? So anyway, that's what I'm focusing on this next year. As someone who grew up people pleasing, I'm learning to undo the adherence to over politeness. Yeah, that's so important too, because it's like one of the things that that I've recognized in myself about the people pleasing is that oftentimes, like I people please out of the desire to want to help people, but I end up letting them and myself down, because me helping them without having any energy to actually help them doesn't actually help them. It actually, in a lot of ways, it robs them of time and money and investment and energy. So it's really important to understand that, if you really want to help someone, you always have to be honest with your energy level of helping. I'm always scared there's even an extreme consequence if I speak up for myself or have a boundary, but I've gotten better. Yeah. And a lot of that comes from, childhood for most of us, in terms of wanting to uphold a boundary or wanting to do something and then being like forcibly shut down. And I think that's a natural part of life, right? Like, the parents offer the children a level of conditioning that is natural. Like, there's things that you got to learn from your parents, but your parents themselves are conditioned. And so naturally, some of the way that your parents do things is not going to sync up with the way that you naturally will be doing things. And so as we get older, it's important that we reparent ourselves and we reassess the value of, for instance, the safety that comes from projecting an extreme consequence that is like not speaking up for yourself, not having a boundary. That's a defense mechanism, and that's helpful up until the point that it's not, right? And so now you're realizing, like, oh, there's a better way. And so this is the journey that we're all on together. So anyway, that's 39.2. Really interesting transits, especially going into the new year. So like, a lot of people are going to be fighting with themselves. A lot of people are going to be, even deeper into the people pleasing thing. Like, I think about all the goals that get set, like going to the gym, and how people will rope each other into goals of theirs. So that way it makes the goal easier. But also, in terms of a more, how you say, shadowy element of it, a lot of times people will rope others into their goals because, well, if this is my goal alone, I can only blame myself. But if I bring somebody else into it, I could always blame so and so for the reason why I didn't accomplish my goals, which is like a very, again, a very immature thing to do. But people do it. Even mature people will do that. And so it's important to, I think it's important to keep your goals secret to a degree. There's some that it's like, it's good to share, but the person that's out here broadcasting all of their goals, I don't know, because maybe they do have some secret goals that they're working on. But for me, like, I like to keep my goals secret, because I find that when I'm talking about my goals, it feels like I'm accomplishing them. And then that creates opportunities for me to not actually accomplish my goals because I'm talking about it so much. I'm wondering if anyone else can relate to that. Kind of a shitty situation. And my brother actually was the one that revealed that to me. He's like, you talk a lot about this stuff, but have you done it? And I'm like, no. He's like, maybe you should stop talking about it and do it. I'm like, damn. Thanks, bro. I love you. It snapped me out of it. One thing that's really cool too is there's a book called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, he's the guy that wrote Think and Grow Rich, and highly recommend this book. It's very controversial, but super insightful. And one of the things he talks about in there is the when we declare a goal outwardly, like for instance, if I'm trying to stop smoking, and I say, I'm never going to have another cigarette for the rest of my life, the devil will hear that. And then he's going to tempt you with one more before the never having a cigarette. And so a better way to do that is just for today, I'm not going to smoke a cigarette, right? And that is one that the devil can only tempt you with just one day, because tomorrow you can decide whether or not you want to smoke again. But the mastery of this is like, not this time. And the thing that I'm talking about here is like this energy of announcing your goals out to the world, is one that is, now you're creating all this pressure, which sometimes is helpful, but a lot of the times is not very helpful. Pressure and expectation, rather than connecting to a deeper why and a natural motivation, a natural internal motivation, we're looking to the world to pressurize us rather than our own. I'm only not going to light the next cigarette. I'm only not going to light the next cigarette. Yeah, exactly. So that's the idea, is that, if you can base it in the moment, then what you're doing is you're cultivating a strength of presence and choice, as opposed to living up to an external expectation that you've set up for yourself. So, yeah, when it comes to goals, and again, what I'm looking to do here with, January 21st, like, I've got some goals written down. And I'm looking at my goals, and already I'm starting to see like, oh, some goals are actually more important to me than others. Some feel safer than others. Some are really scary. And so I recommend, and I also recommend too, like, the traditional manifestation of like writing it out in the present is cool, but that's like a decree. That's what I'm gonna write it out like that on the 22nd. What I'm doing now is just more of like a mind map kind of thing, like, studio trailer, certain projects that I'm working on, and it's just like this mind map kind of thing. So that's just what I'm doing. Again, if you wanted to participate in this is the experiment that I'm running, because come the 22nd, I'm going to actually write out the whole in first person, gratitude spell manifestation. But anyway, that's it for me, guys. I got to get ready for a session over here. Peace and love to you all. What did I want to say? I don't think I need to say anything else. Have you discussed goals with a manifester? Ooh, we should just have a manifester panel where everyone tells their goals to the manifester, and the manifester reflects back to them. We might be able to figure something out like that. That could be really fun. But anyway, love you guys. Peace. See you soon. Aloha.